space, no one can hear you scream, but when you see Ellen Ripley, everyone knows that you're screaming. Welcome to a new episode of Movies and Me Extra, and this week, Alien Covenant finally comes out, and I've always wanted to talk about the Alien movies, but I never could find a way to fit that into Movies and Me. However, my good buddy Josh Smith is here, and he's actually the guy who gave me the idea for this new spin-off of the podcast. He wanted to talk about Alien and Aliens, and I was like, that's great, but I couldn't find a way to fit it into the schedule, so he's part of the inspiration for this new podcast as well, and he's joined with me today. Josh, how you doing, my man?
I'm good, thank you. What's up?
Alright, so me and you have known each other for a while now, and surprisingly, you have quite a lot of movie knowledge, and when you picked both Alien and Aliens, I was really surprised for that as your favorite movie. So what is it with these two movies that makes it your favorite?
I don't know. I think it's just the tension behind it, just all the great action sequences, especially Aliens. Aliens is my favorite film. Alien 1, did really enjoy it. It's a one-of-a-kind film, and it pretty much set a new barrier for horror films after that one point.
Alright, and regarding Alien, because that was the first one that really came out, space horror wasn't really a thing that had been explored very often. I mean, you'd seen it with like 2001: A Space Odyssey to an extent, but with this, it's a very simple concept. You've got a couple of people trapped on a spaceship, and this alien is just trying to get them. And I don't think even Ridley Scott knew that this thing would take off in the way it did. So what was it like for the first time for you when you saw Ridley Scott's Alien?
I don't actually really know. Like, to be honest, I was really frightened of the film. Because like a 7-year-old kid watching that film, like you're obviously going to be freaked out. But after like start getting into my teens, rewatched them and fell in love with them all again after that moment, pretty much.
And we can't talk about Alien without talking about who is perhaps the greatest female protagonist in film history, and that's Ellen Ripley. What's your thoughts on Sigourney Weaver and Ellen Ripley and all things great about her, really?
To be quite honest with you, I think without her, it's not really an Aliens franchise, because she pretty much made it and like set a new standard for like female protagonists in movies, especially Alien, because it's type of unique in the way it was made. Very claustrophobic film. Viewers felt that as well. I'm not sure if you agree with me, but
I do feel a lot of claustrophobia with Alien and Aliens because they're both so similar, but you can get the most out of one without getting the most out of another. Like, Alien is more of a straight-up horror thriller type, whereas Aliens is like a horror action, more say like an Evil Dead Army of Darkness kind of comparison.
Definitely.
So when it comes to, since we're still talking about Ridley Scott's Alien, I gotta be honest, the first time I watched this, I was extremely bored until a lot of the stuff started kicking on, but I want to talk about some of our favorite scenes within Alien, and I'm going to let you take the reins on that because...
Aliens or Alien 1?
Alien.
Okay, Alien. I really like, when they're running from room to room, and they're pretty much just trying to find it when the chest buster comes out of Kane. That's got to be the number one moment, is the chest buster scene. When pretty much the alien is first revealed. Quite a shocking moment for all the viewers, I must admit. But I can't really sum it up, but that's the most iconic scene in that film to me.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Like, that scene was just like a sort of a wow moment, and you can imagine what it was like back then for people in 1979 seeing that in the theater. I mean, if I can compare it to anything, it's kind of like the jump scare in Jaws where you see the guy's head pop out of the boat.
Yeah, I agree.
And the chest buster scene, I don't know if my mom saw that in the theater, but I imagine it would have made her a little bit uneasy. I don't know, maybe we can get her in on this.
Yeah, like, serious, that, especially when the first revealing, when they open up the egg and the face hugger first comes out and gets attached to the mask, and then they obviously take him inside, and then boom, his chest is like wide open.
Yeah, and I want to talk about like the alien itself, and as a lot of Alien fans know, it's not actually called the alien, it's called a xenomorph.
Yeah, xenomorph.
Referred to as that. It has such a simple and creepy design, but yet the way that it's used, it's just like this thing that you can't kill it, you can't stab it, you can't really destroy it, and it will never stop hunting for you. And for that with movie monsters, that's got to make the alien and the xenomorph my all-time favorite movie monster, even above the shark in Jaws. And you know Jaws is my favorite movie. So where does the alien stand for you when it comes to, say, like movie monsters?
Movie monsters, probably second, I would say, on my list. Number one would have to be the Predator, because that's pretty much the one above the alien. That's the guy who hunts down the aliens for fun. And there's such a good lore behind it, especially like xenomorphs, as you've seen in Prometheus. That's how, like, that's the original, like, xenomorph out there. But altogether, one of the best, definitely up on my list.
Yeah, and did you ever end up seeing Alien versus Predator?
I've watched all of them. I've watched all the Predator films as well.
Oh, you've definitely got a lot of entertainment value in those ones, especially in the sequels.
I didn't really enjoy Alien vs. Predator, but I did enjoy, 2010 or 2011's Predators. Brilliant film that is. I must say it's really good.
2010 Predators, you mean the one with Adrian Brody, right?
Pretty sure. That's the one, when they all get taken on the ship and they get left in the jungle.
Yeah, I know
Pretty
the one
much.
you're talking about. It's the most recent one.
Yeah,
though.
most recent one. But yeah, I must admit, Predator and Alien, top number 1 and 2.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that. And just one thing I want to mention about Alien myself, which is something that I kind of look for when it comes to movies, and that's the reason that we care about this movie so much is because the characters are done so well. And you set them up, all these people are really set up to know each other, and you can tell through like little things with their banter and their dialogue with one another that they all have a respect for each other. And there was a movie that came out this year called Life that kind of tried to emulate the same feel that Alien did, but from what I've heard, it didn't really manage to do that very well. But it's just like a fun monster movie, as to where Alien is more of like a character-driven sci-fi horror.
Definitely.
Like Alien's actually scary. Even the tagline, "In space, no one can hear you scream."
Definitely.
It's pure genius marketing. And also, just got to bring up the Alien poster.
Oh, I've got that in my room hanging. Definitely.
One of the best pieces of poster art out there for sure. Just simple, to the point, creepy, and makes you want to see the movie. So, is there anything else about Alien that you want to bring up before we move on to Aliens?
Not really much I can really say, but it just really sets up for the next film, as everyone knows, in quite a good way, because you got left on a cliffhanger. What happens or it ends. Also, that picks up in Alien 2, Aliens.
And we're going to squeeze on right through to Aliens now, which was not directed by Ridley Scott.
No.
This one was directed by James Cameron, who's known for directing like The Terminator and T2 and all these action films. And a lot of people have an Alien versus Aliens debate. I personally can see the merits in both of them, but I do honestly enjoy watching Aliens more, but I like analyzing Alien more, if you know what I mean. So
I understand, yeah.
Since you said Aliens was your all-time favorite movie, I'm going to let you take the reins on that. What is it about Aliens, buddy?
What is it about Aliens? Probably the characters, their depth, just pretty much all the scenes. Like, you're never bored in that film. Maybe the start is a bit boring, but as soon as they get down to LV-426, definitely that's when it all kicks off. Like, ultimate part about Aliens is pretty much the colonial marines for me. The best part about that film were Hicks and Hudson.
You got Bill Paxton in there with the whole "Game over, man,
Definitely.
Game over" thing.
Most iconic, I must say, most iconic line from a movie.
And not only do you have Ellen Ripley kicking ass, but you've also got a pretty cool child character with Newt.
All I'm gonna say is, like, I seen the point of her in the film, but I didn't see it in the long run because it just killed her off in the next film.
With Alien 3.
But Hicks is still alive in the Alien universe, because this is a shame to say this game's a disappointment, but Alien Colonial Marines, the game.
Oh yeah.
Most hyped game ever, turned out to be a piece of garbage. But it did really bring back Hicks into the front line, and it pretty much expanded his story and led up like his fate, pretty much.
I think we've just turned this into like talking about the Alien universe, but since you brought up video games, do you ever play Alien Isolation?
I have it. I finished it. It has got to be the most creepiest game I've ever played. It's out there.
And
you just can't kill it.
Never. And especially there's there's so many iconic moments in Aliens that you can
Yeah.
bring up. And one of which is in particular, which I know everybody's expecting us to talk about, is the final face-off between Ripley and the Queen alien. We knew these aliens were scary before, but now we've got like a queen one, like it operates like a hive. And then when you see her come out of the mech and everything, and she does the iconic line, I'm not going to say it because you guys know what it is, and I can't do a good Sigourney Weaver voice, but
Neither can I.
does that just... How do you feel whenever you see that scene? Because it's always fucking
It
great.
gives you goosebumps, really. If you've seen it more than once, it just leaves you entertained. And I tell you what, the punchline is great because it's quite how the best way of putting it is it's like sarcasm in a way mixed with the seriousness. Because obviously they're referring to the Queen Alien as the bitch, if I'm allowed to say that on loan. They're referring to her as the bitch, and that's pretty much the female, so they're pretty much calling it a dog in a way, because aliens are pretty much dogs.
I've never heard it been put that way. That's actually kind of interesting now that I think about it.
I see them as dogs because it's like hunting packs of dogs.
I like wild dogs. That's
Wild dogs.
honestly, I'm quite surprised now. You can tell them what my face looks like, dude, because I've never
it's
heard them
Pretty
put aliens in
shocked.
that way. Man, that's making me want to rewatch it all over again.
Yeah, I gave it a watch before I came out here, and I tell you what, I loved it. I always loved that film. I can sit through the director's cut of that and not get bored.
Aliens is an all-timer for me. So there's the age-old question here. Which movie do you prefer, Alien or Aliens?
Aliens. Definitely.
No.
No doubt. No, without a doubt. Aliens.
Now, whilst I can see why a lot of people enjoy Aliens more, I do feel that people often don't give Alien enough credit just because
Oh no, I still give it the what credit it deserves, because that pretty much started off the franchise in what's become now. And obviously Aliens 3, not really a great film. But
Or Resurrection.
or Resurrection, 2 piles of garbage. But Prometheus back again, that definitely took everything back.
Let's talk a bit about Prometheus, actually, since, we were originally just talking about Alien and Aliens, but screw it, I might just make it the whole Alien universe since we just brought up the video games. Prometheus was it was marketed as this, we don't know if it's an Alien prequel or not, or whether it's just a spin-off set in the same Alien universe. And when we saw it, it's clear it kind of was.
It's definitely the prequel to it, I must say, because obviously, first Aliens, it's got the engineer pod. And you know the big cockpit they drive in? That's where all the eggs were in the room.
Aye, for sure.
I must say, looks probably... I actually really enjoyed that film. Not a lot of people did, but you need to understand the Alien franchise and universe to pretty much get a grasp of it.
That's completely fair, and Prometheus is a very slow burn watch for me, but I can still enjoy the good parts in it. There's a lot of great performances, and Michael Fassbender gives one of the best performances of his career.
I have to admit, yeah, true. I'll be very surprised to see what happens in the next one, Covenant. But, definitely, that film is pretty much the origin of the xenomorph.
What are you looking forward to seeing the most in Alien Covenant? Because the trailers have shown that it's kind of going back to that classic Alien feel, but there's still a bit of action in there, so I can feel it might be a mix between Alien and Aliens in terms of tone.
I agree with you there, totally. I think it's going to be a mix, because if you've seen the trailers, obviously they come out loaded with guns. Obviously the very special gun, they're called the Pulse Rifle, has not made an appearance in the Alien franchise, which I would really like to see again. Most iconic gun ever in movie franchise history.
And as you all know, I do a little special feature on the show. Josh, I want you to imagine for a moment that I've never seen a single Alien movie. I've not seen Alien, I've not seen Aliens, I've not seen Prometheus, I've not seen any of the other ones. Before you punch me in the face, what do you tell me to get me to watch an Alien movie, like right now?
The grip and action and pretty much the intensity of every film. It never leaves you bored for a moment, except in the beginnings, pretty much. Best way to tell you.
Okay, and I think that'll wrap us up for this episode. Josh, I know you're staying with me right now in my house as we're taping this, but Thanks so much for joining
No
me in my
problem.
room and coming on to my
Anytime.
show.
Anytime.
Where can people find you? Is there anything you want to plug?
Probably Instagram. Instagram's Josh Smith 927. Some DJ stuff in there and some crazy stuff, pretty much.
Yeah, Josh is a very, very talented DJ and producer as well. Like, you
Yeah.
make your own music.
Yeah, just made the first 2 tracks, pretty much. Getting released. Don't know when yet, but
That's going to happen soon.
yeah.
Okay, and as always, you guys can find me at NolanDean27 and use the hashtag MoviesAndMeExtra to continue the conversation. And a little question for the viewers. What's your favorite moment ever from an Alien movie? And are you guys looking forward to Alien Covenant? Leave us a comment down below. And if you guys like this episode, hit the subscribe button, and I will see you guys next time.